Hey guys, okay, so poor lighting again. Face looks weird, I know. But the weird thing about that is that earlier tonight I filmed a video with this exact lighting and it looked brighter, and this was after it was already dark, so that was not an effect. But I don't know. I don't know. This is what you guys are getting tonight, sorry. But I wanted to talk about a video, well, I wanted to do a video in sort of inspiration to a video that I saw earlier today. Earlier I watched Andi over at Estellasrevenge's video about her 2016 goals, and one of them was giving her older books some love, like getting to the ones that she's had for a while, because she said that she has a tendency to favor and pick up newer books, or books that are newer to her shelves than the ones that are older. And that was such a good point and such a really good goal for 2016. And I sort of feel like some of my books have that for 2016. Like some of my books are kind of older, especially because I'm trying to weed out my teen fiction at the moment, because there's a lot of teen fiction that I want to read, but I am trying to stop picking up teen series and stuff just because I feel like I'm kind of going away from that genre as far as what I like to read. So anyway, what her video inspired me to do is make sort of an intimidation video. I'll bet you guys thought that I was going to be inspired to read some of my older books this year, and hopefully I am doing that a little bit. But it just made me think about all the books that I keep putting off and keep putting off because of intimidation. That's really the only reason why I keep putting off these books, and I wanted to talk about a few of them. Some of them I put off because of size, some of them I put off because of hype, some of them I put off for fear that they will not, for fear that they will disappoint me, basically. So yes, I wanted to talk about a few of those. The biggest one right now is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, and obviously I don't mean biggest in size, I mean biggest like the one that I am most intimidated to read. Definitely Cloud Atlas, because I tried reading it a little while ago, and it just, like, the language in the first part really deterred me. It was just not, I, like, wasn't grasping the language very well, and so I had to put it aside. But a lot of people have said that sometimes that is the case, because this book is told from 6 different perspectives. So some people have issues with one or more of the perspectives, but then they love the other ones. So yeah, apparently I need to try this again and kind of jump that hurdle to enjoy this book. Which I'm really looking forward to, but, you know, when you have that kind of an obstacle, it's very hard to pick a book back up. But I would love it if you guys commented and said, like, oh no, like, you should definitely pick it up again because it's awesome, and yeah, so, I don't know, I do want to do this at some point, but we shall see. Next is Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, and, I picked this because this, along with Metamorphosis by Ovid, or Metamorphoses by Ovid, are probably my 2 biggest poetry books. And the thing is, I really, really do want to read both, but it's so intimidating because it's a huge book and it's all in poetry rather than prose. So I'm worried. And this also sort of represents all of my poetry collections, even though some of them are shorter than others. But basically, reading more than one poem at a time kind of terrifies me. But if I wait and I pick up one of these a year, it will take me like 20 years to read my current poetry collection. So, yeah, I'm just intimidated by that. Next up is Lark Rise to Candleford, a trilogy by Flora Thompson. I'm very excited to read this, but I am very intimidated by it because I love this TV show so much. And as far as the book goes, or the bind-up trilogy, I'm just sort of afraid that some bits of this will be boring because it's a lot of day-to-day life, I think, at least from the show. That's the impression that I get. But the thing about the show is that each episode's only an hour long, so it seems to go a lot faster with the kind of mundane things. And the show is also incredibly well written. And I'm not saying this isn't, because I don't know, because I haven't tried it yet, but I'm just afraid that this might be boring. So let me know if you've read this down in the comments, and let me know if it is in fact boring. Another one that represents kind of an entire genre, really, is Uncrowned King, The Life of Prince Albert by Stanley Weintraub. And he also wrote Victoria. But I have several books like this about historical figures that I love and am very interested in. But I do not read legit historical nonfiction very often. Usually I read historical fiction, and I love it because it intermingles fact with the author's fiction, and I just think that's so much fun. But the thing about history books is that they scare me. I used this for this and I think 2 other books on Victoria and Albert for my History on Film class when I was a senior. Yes, when I was a senior. And I kept these because I was like, you know what, I've paid for these. I really want to actually sit down and read the entire thing someday because the snippets that I did read for my paper, or papers plural, were very interesting. But yeah, the idea of reading this by itself in its entirety like terrifies me. Same with several others. I have The Six Wives of Henry VIII by Alison Weir, which I don't know if that's historical fiction or an actual history book. Not really sure. But I have that. I have We Too, which is another book about Albert and also Victoria. I have Mary, Queen of Scots by Antonia Fraser, and again, I'm not sure if that's historical fiction or historical. But yeah, they just kind of worry me a little bit. And I guess I can also include this in that section, even though this is fiction about, a biography about writers rather than historical. They are historical figures, but, it's not about, like, a prince or anything. This is The Brontes, Wild Genius on the Moors, The Story of a Literary Family by Juliet Barker. And this honestly only intimidates me for size, because I actually love biographies. But, yeah, this is only intimidating because of the sheer massiveness of it. So, yes, slightly worried about this one. This bad boy is a collection of short fictions. I think maybe, I forget if it's American or European, but this intimidates me because even though I maybe only want to read half of these, and it is very easy to kind of pick it up and read one at a time, what intimidates me is looking at my shelf and seeing this giant thing on my shelf. It makes me feel like, it intimidates me because in my head, looking at it on the shelf, I feel like I need to read the entire thing when that's not true at all. I can just pick it up and read a story whenever I want, but just looking at it makes me not want to do that because it's so huge. So, yep. Winter's Tale by Mark Helprin. This one I haven't owned as long as I've owned some of the others. This one I've only owned since January of 2014. So 2 years. But the reason why this intimidates me is not because of its size. It is because the thing about the film is that I liked the first half of it, but not the second half. And it really was like someone made two completely different 1 hour films that were supposed to be bridged well as one film, and the bridge did not happen. It basically looked like you were watching two completely different 1 hour movies, in my opinion. Most people just didn't like the entire thing, but I really did like the first hour of it. I thought it was great. But that's the reason why the story itself intimidates me, because I've heard Mark Helprin's writing is amazing, and I've heard that the book far, far exceeds the film as far as being good. But I'm still slightly worried. And again, well, okay, so I guess there is a little part of me that's worried about the size. But with a book this size, I am worried about getting bored at some point a little. So, yes, let me know what y'all think about this. Another big one, Pillars of the Earth. I don't know why I'm intimidated to read this, because I know that I adore the miniseries with all of my heart. So I really don't know why it's taken me so long to get to this. I think it is because of its size. Because I really, really want to read it, but I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to take me forever to read. And yet I'm doing the same, like right now, that's what I'm doing for War and Peace. But another factor, because I'm currently reading War and Peace, is I don't want it to take me as long to read this as it is to read War and Peace, because War and Peace is probably going to take me about a year by the time I get through with it, if I finish it by April. It will have been a year, and that's how long it will have taken me to read it. So I don't want this to take me a year. So that's where that intimidation comes from. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, I say Norrell, but some people say Norrell, by Susanna Clark. This is intimidating because I did pick it up and I read the first 60 pages and I was enjoying it. But then for some reason, I wanted to, like, I put it down in favor of something else, and I haven't really had a desire to pick it back up, which worries me. Even though I was so intrigued by it, and I do think the story sounds amazing, and yeah, basically that's where I am with this one. The last few are just really talking about hype and such. Oh, well, actually, another one, or another one that I'm intimidated about is Tell the Wolves I'm Home by Carol Rifka Brunt. That is one that I started a little over a year, like a year and a half ago, with Andi over at Estellasrevenge, and Andi finished the whole thing, and I got 60 pages in and put it down. 60 pages seems to be my mark for wanting to put a book down and not pick it up again. But the thing is, I was enjoying it, but it was, for some reason, a really slow read for me, and when I put it down, I just had no desire to pick it back up. And the thing is, it still sounds like an incredibly interesting story to me, but I'm just so afraid that if I pick it back up and I start over, I'm gonna get to that point again where I just get in a rut and I don't want to read it. So that's my issue with that, is it's intimidating because I've already tried it once. Same with Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, really. Next, this is just representative of an entire series. It is the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. This is Voyager, which is the third one. I read these in high school. I read the first 3.5, and I feel like I read them super quickly, and I loved them. But now I don't know, like, now the idea of reading 8 books that are this size kind of terrifies me. Even though I love this series so much. It's probably my favorite adult series of books. I say adult because I love Harry Potter best, but I have to, like, that's why I'm differentiating between, like, young adult, and I just tap my face, but anyway. So, yeah, this intimidates me because even though I love these books, and I love the TV series that has recently come out, the size is just, like, 8 of these. How? How am I gonna do that? And that's probably where I am with, like, the last 4 Game of Thrones books as well. And then this one I'm intimidated by, because A, it's a trilogy, that's pretty big, and B, mixed reviews for this series. One person, and actually the reason why I bought these was on, one specific person's recommendation, very, very highly recommended, so I bought it, and I also bought the second one, and I was so excited to read these. But then someone else whose opinion I also trust, and you guys are gonna hate me because I actually don't remember, not hate me, but you guys are gonna be mad because I actually don't remember who that person was, but I remember at the time when they reviewed this that I was like, well, I really trust this person's opinion, so did I make a wrong decision in getting this book? But that person did not like this at all, said that the love story was just not good at all. Like, I forget, I think she said that the love story was really, like, anti-feminist and, like, really demeaning, or something like that. I'm not really sure, but basically that's what I thought when I saw that review. So that made me kind of worried to pick this up. So, yeah, worried about this book. And then, last but not least, is Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder, which is also the beginning of a trilogy. And this is basically representative of every young adult book that I still have on my shelves, because most of them I could have read by now, but I don't know, like, I haven't really felt like reading young adult for quite a while, and the thing about these books is that I don't want to get rid of them because the concept and the plots still sound very interesting to me, but it's just kind of me being worried that I will be disappointed in the books because I'm kind of, I don't know, I've kind of gone past teen fiction at this point as far as what I like. I still really like the teen books that I have read. There are some that I still reread because I love them so much, but it's just like my brain doesn't want me to read any new teen fiction, if that makes any sense. I don't even know. Like, it's like in my mind, that's what's going on. Just because the things that I've been more recently invested and interested in are mystery and fantasy and classics and historical fiction, and none of those are, like, none of those have been young adult, really. So, yeah, I'm just, that's where I'm intimidated with these, is fear of not liking some of these due to, like, a mind block rather than actually thinking that they're bad, if that makes sense. I don't even know. But yeah, okay. I've spent 20 minutes talking about this, so yes, sorry about that. Sorry about the bad lighting, but it's just something that I really wanted to talk about. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have read any of these and you think it's silly that I'm intimidated by them and you think I should go for it, please let me know. And yeah, let me know if you guys have that same problem. If you guys would like to make a video in response to this, that would be great, because I love seeing video response things. And obviously, like, I got this idea from Andi, or like it stemmed from Andi's video. And I will link her channel down below, because she is great, and she has just started making videos again after having a little bit of a break. So, yay! Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.